What's up, guys? Thank you for joining me on episode 2 of Why You Need Leadership Development. My name is Aisha Thomas, and I'm your leadership and team development expert. And it's important that you recognize that team members don't typically quit the organization. They typically quit the leader. And we have started this great series, and now you're on episode 2, where we're going to really expand the areas that we highlighted. So if you haven't checked out episode 1 yet, go back and check it out. It sets the foundation. So today we're going to talk about if you fit in this category of leading yourself. That's why you need leadership development, because every single person is a leader. I feel that it's inevitable, but you have to be able to know how to lead yourself, because I hear it all the time. I don't have a team. I'm just a solopreneur. I'm not even thinking about leading yet. But even if you're in those categories where you don't have a team, maybe it's just you working for you right now, you're building your business up, you have to recognize the things you need to understand, because you have to ultimately lead yourself. You're still a leader. So we are going to break down why leading yourself is so important. And one of the first areas I want to highlight is the area of emotional intelligence. It's so important that you are emotionally intelligent. Some people call it EQ, some people call it EI, but it's so important that you have that awareness of your emotions, be able to manage them, and also understand and be able to influence and motivate other people based off of their emotions. That's such an important factor. There's studies that have shown that people who have a high EQ actually produce better results within an organization and a team more than people with a high IQ. Yes, you need skills. Yes, you need information. Yes, you need education. But now when you're managing people, when you're managing yourself, how you show up in your organization, your company, and your business can really affect and change how your team members support you, how clients see you, and if you're going to be effective in your role. So when you're thinking about emotional intelligence, ask yourself, am I self-aware? Do I know how to self-regulate? Do I really pay attention to my social skills and how I really respond and interact in social settings? All of those things are important as a business leader, someone that's in a corporation, an organization. And I remember the time when I was working for an organization, I was a leader. And one of my team members approached me later on when we got closer, got to know each other. And she said, you know what, when you first started, I didn't know you were going to be this nice. And I was like, what do you mean? And what she shared to me was the fact that I used to show up in the organization, walk in, I didn't speak to anyone, and I would just go into my office and crack the door because I didn't want to be bothered. I was actually unhappy at that time. I wasn't happy to be there. But now I was giving off that same energy to all of the people I work with. I had to cross all these people to get to my office, and I wasn't even speaking. That was just very rude. And that set the precedence or the belief that I wasn't nice, I wasn't approachable. So it's so important that you're aware of that. And that awareness, sometimes people can see it from the outside, but we need to be able to be aware of who we are and how we're showing up so we can be effective in supporting our teams, our businesses, and being effective as a leader. So are you emotionally intelligent? If not, you need leadership development. The next area is understanding your strengths. Yes, you are thebomb.com. You are doing the thing. Do you really understand and know all of your strengths? It's so important that you know that, because it plays into you also understanding your blind spots. Because although you know how great you are, you know what you do and what you bring to an organization or a team, but in order for you to be effective, you need to know your strengths and your blind spots. Have you ever been to an interview, or have you ever been asked or posed a question? What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? I don't know if there's been one job interview that I've been to where they did not ask that question. What makes you stand out? What is an area you need to improve on? And of course, that question is like a double-edged sword, so you try to find a very particular way to answer it. But if you really reflect on that question, you can probably write down the things that make you great. But there are some people who struggle in this area, especially if you're leading yourself. There are some things that make you stand out, some things that make you great that you need to highlight and define. However, there are some blind spots that you need to be aware about. You need to know if you have a communication issue, which is one of the traits that people look for in a leader. You need to know if you're able to adapt. You need to be able to know if you have great decision-making skills. You need to know if you can have good relationship management skills. You need to know if those things are good or if those are areas that you need to improve on. So you need to know what your blind spots are as well as your strengths, so you can know what areas you need to improve. Okay, areas of improvement. These are the areas that you need to really watch out for. And you say, you know what? I know that I have a communication barrier, or I know that I don't like to deal with conflict, or you know what? I say yes to so many things that I feel overwhelmed. These are all things you need to be aware of, because now this can identify how you can truly start working on and developing yourself as a leader. So these are just some things that you want to really think about. And that's why you need leadership development, because leading yourself is the foundation. If you can't lead yourself and have an understanding of your emotions, how you show up, how to motivate, how to inspire yourself, how can you do that effectively when it comes to other individuals? If they notice a change in your behavior, if you're asking them to show up, be strong, be motivated when they show up in the workspace, or when they show up to push your mission and your vision, but you can't do the same, that's going to cause a conflict. So you have to be emotionally intelligent. If not, you need leadership development. Also, you need to understand your strengths and your blind spots. What makes you great? What makes you stand out? What makes you the person that should be in this role? But also knowing what blind spots, what areas you need support in. Because say eventually you do want to build a team, now you know, okay, I know that in the administrative side I need help. I know in this area I need support. So let me really just stand back and either develop that area, because yes, it's great to have that knowledge. This might also allow you to identify who you need to bring on your team. So it's really important that you understand your strengths as well as your blind spots, so you can know what areas to improve in. And that's why it's so important that you understand you need leadership development, because again, remember, individuals don't tend to quit the organization, they tend to quit the leader. And that's why you need leadership development.